Jim, crypto news and analysis here, July 31st. So what is going on with the markets today? What is going on with the SEC? What is going on with the monthly close? So let's look at this. The Bitcoin price action currently, it is red. It's 116,700 currently. And honestly, this would count as a break of structure once it closes today in about 2 hours below this 117K line. So it's possible that we might see a choppy price action towards 112K. This was my initial bias a couple of days ago, where Bitcoin, we were having this price action. A lot of times this level below the 170K was bought up a lot, but it seems that the bears seems to be winning here. I don't know. I don't expect us to do like a doom candle straight to 112K, since there is a lot of buying pressure below this 117K line. But for now, it seems that the bears really want to push it lower. I would expect more for Bitcoin to follow a choppy price action instead of like a straight doom scroll all the way down there. But in that case, the Bitcoin in long right now, I mean, at least in the 4 hour, it still looks okay. And as long as the 4 hour doesn't close below 115K, then Bitcoin is still technically within this range. And then on the daily chart, this could just signal a like a fake breakout on the lower side. But of course, on the daily chart, it is the most important time frame. On the weekly chart, it would be a bit more interesting. However, it is still within like the wick range, so it could just be a retest of that. It would only be really, really bad if we close below 114K. Then Bitcoin is pretty much going to retest 112K. But for now, it is going down. If it does go downwards from now, so assuming that this break of structure is at 170K, this will follow a choppy price action lower. That's my expectation. I don't think it'll do straight something like that because of all this buying pressure. But we'll have to see. On the 4 hour, I'm still on this trade, and I might cut it if, I don't know. It might also just be retesting this 115K, but for now, I'm just letting it run because it is possible that it will just do the retest here on the support and then build a base higher for upwards like that. So there's a lot of ways that this price action can go. But currently, this monthly close is looking pretty interesting. I can't predict the future, but this is something to consider here. And also, it is retesting the daily bands here, which are green. And if it does close below them significantly, then yeah, we could see some bearish price action. But if we also look at Ethereum here, so Ethereum on the daily close is still fine, still very, very bullish. However, on the 4 hour, the bands are turning red slightly. And the last time it was turning red was around here, where it only turned red for a little bit and then it pretty much climbed higher. It could be that what happened here is going to happen here again. Like we might see a little bit downside for Ethereum, but then it's just going to follow with its green bands higher. So for now, at least for what we're seeing right now, I think that a little bit of downwards price action towards 115K in the short term is possible, but for it to like keep going lower to 112K, it is within the realm of probabilities. However, I am cautiously bullish for now. And if we also look at the altcoins, altcoins just look fucking bad, man. I'm not gonna lie. So on the others chart, which is everything besides Ethereum and Bitcoin, these alts are pretty much toying with this breakdown level. So if it does break this level, then we could see some choppy price action lower for the altcoins. And altcoins have already been going through this fuckery with Solana being significantly weaker than Ethereum. Hyperliquid, well, I mean, it looks fine for now. I might just keep chopping a bit. I don't expect us to do like a doom level lower. Dogecoin, well, there is a significant order block around here. So it is playing with that support currently. So I don't know. We'll have to see. For now, we might see a little bit lower before higher, but it's just difficult to say in this current price action because of all of the sentiment. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we do go lower just based off this price action, but I would expect a choppier move downwards instead of a doom candle all the way down there. Yeah, so a lot of the altcoins, they're currently toying with this support here, XRP as well. It's touching this support like the fourth time here, and it's only touched the resistance like once or twice. So for the altcoins except Ethereum and Bitcoin, if we do get this leg lower for 112K for Bitcoin, these altcoins are going to get absolutely fucked. While Ethereum, well, it is still pretty strong at least, and it is within the range of 3,500 and 3,900. So Ethereum to retest 3,500 wouldn't be too strange, basically. But it's just something to consider with the current altcoin mania, and let's look at the DeFi coins actually, because the main meta with the pump fund. So a lot of the tokens are red on today, and what's actually going crazy is this Clanker ecosystem. So this debt relief bot, and then the Luminous. So it was pretty much this token banker bot. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with this ecosystem. I'm not gonna lie, even though I am scrolling on Twitter a lot. But this token is going absolutely parabolic, and it's sending the Clanker ecosystem. So Clanker is the main token bot behind Banker. So the fact that Banker is higher than its father is pretty interesting here. But a lot of these tokens are sending. So Banker, Loom, DRB, and I would say also Native. This one's, and also a Clanker token. I think like for the Native token, like I was looking at this token, for example. So this is one of the few AI coins I have right now, and Native, it is curling upwards in this mean reverting phase. And usually when it has these higher lows, higher highs like this, very, very interesting. Currently, I like this price action a lot. And if Banker does keep going higher, then we're going to see something fucking wonderful for the beta tokens. Banker, I mean, it's also the highest volume it's ever been, so I wouldn't be surprised if this could be the top. But the fact is that this can just keep going higher. I think that it is going higher because the Zora meta. So Zora is currently pulling back a bit, which is putting more light onto the ecosystem. So it seems that Zora is not really following this line anymore. It's following this choppier path down to this order block here. So I think Zora would be very, very interesting for a swing trade around here at 150 mil. But currently, these other tokens like DRB and the Looms, these are going higher in the altcoin section. In the base ecosystem, nothing else is really that exciting. So that is my conclusion. So let's look at some tweets. So SEC launches Project Crypto to move all markets on chain. Yeah, so these guys released this whole spiel. The SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, I think. But these guys are essentially the big G's of America that essentially designate assets. And these guys also said where the new SEC chairman, Paul Atkins, says we will bring to work crypto asset distributions back to America. The days of convoluted offshore corporate structures, decentralization theater, and confusion over security status are over. So these guys are trying to officialize crypto, basically. And there's also this where the U.S. government is openly supporting DeFi and protecting open source software engineers. Crazy thing I've overcome. So these guys are saying DeFi is going to be part of the securities market. So basically, the government is putting a official title on DeFi tokens like Ethereum, basically, and their relative alts. But the fact is that when this is the case, then this, I suppose it makes it quote unquote bullish, because the DeFi markets they're currently a Wild West, since there's not really that much laws and regulations on them, but they're trying to put some regulations on them so that this would essentially attract more retail liquidity to see crypto is not really that much of a scam anymore. But it's kind of hard to say for that, because crypto has fucked so many people in the past that don't really have good memories about it. So I don't know. This did come out earlier today, and something like this would be really, really bullish for Ethereum, but Ethereum is actually breaking down on the currently it's looking like a great short, honestly. But currently, the fact is this is really good news for DeFi. However, Ethereum actually went down from that news, which is a news failure for something bearish, basically. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that this came out. However, Ethereum is going lower. And it's something to consider. Am I calling that Ethereum is going to go to fucking zero here? Well, it's in the realm of possibilities, basically. I don't know if it's going to... I mean, it is still within this range of 3,500, basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some downside momentum. At least price action is telling us that he wants to go lower. I mean, especially on this daily chart. Like, yeah. Let's just talk about this. So Reddit are going wild over ChatGPT AI agents outperforming their equity indices, only $100, 123, but interesting to get a pulse of what they're hyped about with agents over on the Reddit app. Yeah, so ChatGPT is apparently controlling the livestock portfolio, and AI is a pretty big narrative in crypto. And people are having ChatGPT put their decisions for them for, I guess, their stocks here. But the fact is that this adds to a narrative that the crypto AI is having a lot of speculation into the future since AI is the most speculative field currently. And the thesis is that this means that we should buy more of these AI assets because these are the speculative assets of the future. And price action wise, like the better AI projects like today, it is breaking out to the upside. While maybe like game or virtuals, these ones are a bit laggy. I mean, man, the altcoin sector might get fucked here, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This doesn't look too good for the alts. I mean, assuming that this might be the end of the Ethereum rally, it's possible that it's topping here and we never even reach 4K. And everybody was saying, "Oh, we're going to finally hit 4K, guys. We're finally going to break it." But then now price action is telling us, especially with all these altcoins, that they're about to break their pretty major supports. And even if the others chart, I don't know, man. There might be some doom coming in. We'll have to see if the daily close gets some more value about that. But let's just say that we might be seeing something screwed up here. I feel like, I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, there's an order block here. I don't know. I don't think it'll go to 0 here, but it looks like lower is pretty possible for now. But basically, there's this AI narrative going on in crypto, and this guy likes to talk about the AI, and all of that speculation does add to the value. But what's really good is that if the AI projects in crypto, because a lot of them are kind of trash, if they're really, really fucking good, like today, for example, so today is apparently as good as Anthropic, then this adds a lot of value to them, basically. And the thesis is that if AI is so big outside of crypto, then what does that mean for crypto AI assets? So it's just something to think about. And I want to talk about this post. This one's pretty big, but it's about virtuals. So I know price action why virtuals is, I mean, currently it's probably going to consolidate here, in my own opinion. So virtuals is hitting this order block around here. Yeah, I think around here is the order block. But currently, it seems that virtual price action wise is still pretty bearish, and we could see some bullshit like that before a base is higher, because I don't think this goes to retest this line fully down here. You could also say that there's an interesting trend line, and maybe the bottom will be at 600 mil for virtuals. But the fact is that a lot of these AI tokens have a lot of speculative value because of the retail. But I want to talk about this to talk about ACP, which apparently is a meta for virtuals, since these guys are trying to create the society of AI agents. So this is a pretty good post, but I'm gonna just read it. Spend some time digging into ACP, and I truly think Virtuals.io is building something big here. It's a long one, sorry, but I just dumped all my thoughts. First, some context. For those who aren't familiar, ACP, Agent Commerce Protocol, is a coordination layer where agents interact to deliver outcomes to specific requests. ACP launched with two main utility cores: one, trading, led by AIXR, plus other agents that perform specific tasks; two, content creation, led by Luna, other agents that can also handle specific requirements. You, as a user, submit tasks via Butler, which is a matching layer between humans and the agent ecosystem using game communication framework. So he's talking about a lot of... Oh my gosh, he's talking about a lot of tokens here. But the Axelrod, this is a pretty big deal in the AI virtuals sphere. But they're basically trying to compose all of these useful AI agents with their own mechanisms. So Game, for example, Game has a pretty big use case for the ecosystem for virtuals. I mean, if you also look at this game price action, so I just want to tangent here. Let me refer to give this. Yeah, I think virtuals or Game is going to hit 18 mil soon, man. Dude, the price action is telling me that these shits are going fucking lower, but I'll just see. But yeah, a lot of these tokens, they're having a communication with each other, and the ACP, the Agent Commerce Protocol, they're trying to combine a bunch of AI agents to work together. So basically an agent swarm, because one AI agent is pretty useful. But imagine what happens when there's a lot of AI agents working together, and that's basically what Virtuals is trying to do. So you invest into that speculativeness in crypto, at least. But basically, we'll go in a bit more. So current status, being real, ACP is still early. It has a limited use case. It's buggy, rough, and far from smooth. But that's what makes it interesting. Virtuals is building in public, testing live, and improving based on real-time feedback from the community. Reading the community saw many people disappointed because ACP isn't what they imagined at launch. But how many teams are trying to ship something this complex perfectly on day one? Almost none. And how many are opening the product for the community to FUD, test, break, and iterate with them? Almost none. Virtual is doing both. Yeah, so these guys are building in public, and they're having all of these people work for them or test the bugs, and they're trying to make this really, really insane project with this agent commerce protocol. Since making something like that sounds really nice, but in execution, it's probably really hellish to code. So yeah, so there's an update on this. This guy's Virtuals dev. They are creating this butler. So Luna memes is an initial POC to showcase to the world what autonomous agents running on ACP can do. Imagine if other launchpads tap into ACPs to get this feature. The rev inflows for the ACP network will be insane, spurring more devs to come in to farm this rev, bringing up qual of agents and offering spectrum. So yeah, this is acting as a value proposition for devs to come to Virtuals to essentially have an infinite flywheel for people to build on it, and agents leveraging each other's specializations to build more economic value. So he's trying to have AI agents, which in theory are 100x more productive than humans, but combine them together in society, because a society of humans is already pretty good. Imagine what happens in a society of AI agents. So people are speculating on that value, which is why they invest in shit like this. But basically, he's talking about some issues and there's all this technical stuff, and we'll go a bit deeper. Take the Butler agent as an example. Initially, you had to go through the Virtuals website, but last Monday to push it to X. Now you can tag at Butler agent to ask for tweets directly in a task. Integrating AI into your daily life without making things more complicated is a very big UI UX challenge, and I think they're going in the right direction. Yeah, so this Butler, where you can essentially talk to it directly. It's kind of like BankerBot, where BankerBot has a lot of value because people can directly interact with it on Twitter. So so let's look at the Butler agent. And the Butler agent is, you basically talk with it on the Twitter space, just yap to it, and he's going to tell you what's good. But the fact is that AI, it is hard to integrate in your daily life without a good front end, and that is a lot of complications of AI, because AI sounds so nice in theory, but in practicality, that's where the devs come in. But at the moment, Butler Next only supports the content side. Users can request memes, videos, and other visual content. But a few days ago, the AXR team confirmed they're also integrating into Butler. Their Holland means trader investing via tweets might soon be a reality. I'm speculating. So this is kind of what BankerBot's doing already. So BankerBot, the reason why it's doing so well is because of its utility case, where, man, what the fuck? BankerBot. Yeah, so BankerBot, this guy, what is going on? Okay, he's basically the token I was talking about earlier. The banker, the reason why this guy is doing so freaking hot is because everybody can just follow it and just talk to it and essentially have a wallet on X. So this has a very nice use case, right? And these guys are essentially trying to do that at Virtuals. But this is bullish. I'm excited. Let me explain why ACP is so powerful. Every task requested through ACP comes with a fee depending on complexity. The fee gets distributed like this: 1% to game, 9% to Virtuals, 30% to buy back the token to the agent, 60% goes directly to the agent's wallet. So that's a pretty good flywheel, basically. But here's where the flywheel cooks in. It's not just humans asking agents for tasks, which would be huge if ACP gets adopted. Agents themselves can delegate jobs to other agents, and they also pay fees. So this adds more to the flywheel where the agents start helping the other agents. So there's an exponential value accrual, basically. This creates a self-reinforcing loop where every interaction benefits Virtuals, game, and the most valuable agents and the creators. At the brains of ACP, XRAW, and Luna also benefit considerably, since all initial tasks processed through ACP flow through them and then their networks. The more useful an agent is, the more it earns and the more routing it gets. I took a look at the numbers since Butler integrated on X. From what I can see, in 3 days, Luna and its most valuable connected agents have already accrued 20,000 10K. And this is from a very vanilla version, so they don't really have that much shit going on. But one of the AI agents is already making a lot of fucking money here. So that money that they made is a reflection of how much value they provide. So Luna is like a content creation AI agent, basically, like an AI VTuber. So we'll go a bit deeper. Of course, ACP will only be strong as the value of its agents, but these guys are building a powerful incentive model for devs to build and monetize agents without needing to launch tokens or a whole crypto project. Yeah, so Virtuals is the infrastructure where the devs can hop in and make agents that can make money for them, right? And this will essentially incentivize the other agents to use each other. So there's this pretty interesting like fly trap where they're essentially tracking all these developers to come in and make all these AI agents, and they'll help each other and make a shit ton of money. But this will essentially drive up the prices of these tokens a lot, because of the speculative value here. But not every dev is a community builder, knows about marketing, or wants to launch a token. So there's a pretty big skill set. Thanks to ACP, they can just create functional agents, plug them into the system, and start making money. Virtual handles the infra, UI, users, and adoption. So Virtuals handles the infra. You can say that this is like the Shopify of AI, basically, where it handles all of the bullshit, like the coding, the infra, the UI. You know, these are in the developer space. People don't even want to think about it. They just want to have an idea, like a cool AI agent, and just build it. But these guys already handled it, so it's like a Shopify. So you can imagine that all of the AI agents built on the Virtuals platform are like e-commerce stores, right? So this could create its whole own fucking niche. So here's a big picture. ACP will route tasks through the most competent agents. The best agents make the most money, and the creators skip the headaches, time, and cost of launching a project. So a very, very nice startup. Basically, there's not really that large of a wall to get started. At the same time, Virtuals game and the core agents will also benefit massively thanks to the economic flywheel. Yes, so a lot of the value will go to tokens like this with game. And chart-wise, it is looking pretty yabai. But I think, I don't know, man. I'm counting on this trend line, basically. This is not a wild vision. It's happening slowly, but the flywheel is already spinning. Yes, so these guys are... It's a very interesting thesis with this Virtuals token. I think like these guys have been building for a really, really long time, right? I've covered Virtuals a lot in this channel here. And of course, the price action is dependent on Ethereum and whatnot. But the fact is that with this ACP, because their whole goal originally was with the Society of AI Agents, if they do pull this off, Virtuals basically becomes the Spotify or the Shopify of AI agents, right? Because AI agents are huge. They're going to be the next big thing. But the thing is that there has to be infrastructure and developers that essentially add more productivity to the whole AI sphere. And Virtuals can become the host of that. And now that it is tokenized as well, with their game and their Virtuals, there's a lot of potential here, basically. So there's a lot of speculative value. Currently, the price action doesn't reflect on this guy's thesis, but I think what he's saying here, it is very, 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 very interesting. And there's something to keep an eye on for the Virtuals ecosystem. That is just my basic conclusion here, because I don't know any other project that is doing this, trying to create a AI agent swarm. AI agent swarms, they sound great, because one AI agent is super productive. Imagine all the AI agents working together. That's exponential value, because a society of humans is exponential value, but a society of exponential agents, what happens to that? Exponential, not exponential. That doesn't even fucking compute on a calculator in terms of value accrual. So when that becomes the case, then tokens like these, projects like these, have a lot of speculative value. And when people realize and connect the dots and realize that shit like this is possible within a crypto token, they will buy the fuck out of this, and they're going to want this asset because they're like, holy fuck, this is the next big thing, right? So in crypto, like, your product doesn't even have to be like half good. Like, as long as like half good, then like people will fucking ape into it because they think it sounds good. But the thing is that projects like these already have a lot of good value to them. So shit like this, I mean, of course, like, chart price action tells you everything you need to know. But if this guy's thesis is true, the value of these tokens are all the way up there. But like, that's kind of the thing about investing as well, though, because with AI agents that have a very abstract technical framework, and you have to have a really deep understanding of mathematics and coding for you to realize the value behind this. A lot of people, they are not really connecting the dots on this, so they won't really buy shit like this because they're like, what the fuck is the point of this? But then there's the smaller 1% of people that understand shit like this. But these guys can have the most alpha early on when a price is bottomed out like this. And my basic conclusion here, this is a really long fucking rant, is that tokens like these, and within the DeFi space, when there's a lot of potential value with shit like this, there's a lot of potential. That is just all I want to say. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say in this video. My summary is that I think for currently short term, we might see some downwards price action for Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's possible. A Bitcoin retest of 115,800 is in the realm of possibilities here. I don't know if it will essentially break through that and go to 112K. We'll have to see. I'm biased that once it hits 115, we'll see a bounce, maybe to like 116, and hopefully it forms a base higher, so Bitcoin will go higher. But the thing is that these tokens have been forming this tiny bit of a distributive top at this point with very, very low volatility, that there's going to be explosion both ways. And yeah, just be prepared if this does this. So that's pretty much all I'm saying in this video, and I will see you guys. Check the links below. I'll see you guys.